Percy Quinder is the CEO of the Gambling Indaba, which is taking place in Cape Town this weekend. The first thing I really wanted to ask Percy was whether he was a gambling man.
I've got background in gambling, though I don't gamble, but I've got a background based on.
So you won't take a bet with me right now that you can guess the first question that I'm going to ask.
I can take a bet.
Will you? Do you have 20 rand on you?
Do you take checks?
Okay. Do you? Yes, I do. Okay. Let's just put this on the table. All right. I know what question I'm going to ask you next.
Okay.
Can you guess or can you bet? Let's have a little bet here.
I think you want to ask me the dates of the event.
No, incorrect. I'll take that check later. The first question I was going to ask you actually was, what are the key issues that Africa and South Africa faces in the gambling industry?
Look, more Africa than South Africa, more other African countries than South Africa when it comes to regulation. The industry is not very well regulated in other countries compared to South Africa. In South Africa, there's very strong regulation. It's well regulated to make sure that people are protected. People who take part in the gambling are protected,
yeah,
and they look at it as a leisure instead of a source of income. So it's not the case in other countries. So they don't have recourse if there's problems. They experience problems in whatever illegal institutions that they have, gambling institutions. They don't have recourse like we have in South Africa.
Okay.
You've got a gambling boards throughout all the provinces. They've got their own gambling boards where you can go say that maybe you've had an issue with one of the operators. They didn't pay out. You can be assisted, which is not the case in other countries. So we're trying to create a platform where we want to create a uniform regulation throughout the continent, where because currently you find that places like Namibia is a dumping ground for illegal devices, because the regulation there is not as strong as we have. It's not formalized. The industry is not formalized, so it becomes a dumping ground for hardware that is not in use anymore. And also we're trying to create an entrepreneurial spin to it, where we start manufacturing our own devices. Previously, we've been getting all these devices from overseas, name it like your slot machines, software. We've been buying this mainly from overseas. We have the capacity to do that in South Africa. You'll be interested to know that in this year's event, there's going to be companies that will be showcasing equipment, gambling equipment, slot machines that is manufactured in South Africa, creating jobs in Africa and promoting trade within.
What are the key forms of gambling in South Africa, all the way from playing bingo?
Okay, the different sectors of the industries. You've got casino, which it's very big, and you've got horse racing, LPM, which is limited payout machines. You normally find those in pubs, B&Bs, and you've got bingo. You've got your sports bets.
You've got the lottery. You've got
lotteries as well. And you'll be interested to know that the lotteries, for the first time, yeah, they're part of a gambling event. Because initially, when there's like gatherings or summits, they've not necessarily been part of those summits. They've not been looked at as gambling. So the chairperson of the lotteries board is also going to be one of the speakers that will be looking at the contributions of the lottery.
Now, this is an inaugural event. What's so special about it, and have there been other types of events like this in the past?
Look, there has been events, there has been smaller events that are looking at, that are sector specific. Like I explained to you the different sectors. You've got horse racing, you've got casino. They were just focusing maybe on an event to talk about horse racing. So this is just looking at the industry in its entirety and looking at issues pertinent to the industry.